Picture this. You are standing on a crowded street somewhere in the modern world. A man passes by, nothing unusual about him, and hanging around his neck a small gold cross. You don't even think twice, but put that man on a street 2000 years ago. People would stop there. Some would look away entirely because back then that little symbol did not mean faith, it meant death, slow, public, unbearable death. So here is the question that does not get asked often. How did one of the most feared object in human history become something 2 billion people wear proudly around their neck? The shape itself goes back further than most people realize. Long before Christianity, before Rome, even intersecting lines kept appearing across ancient cultures, on Egyptian temples wall, in Persian carving, in early symbols used to represent the sun, the four direction, the rhythm of the world. The cross was not the Roman invention, but Rome turned it into something that no one could ignore. If you walked any major Roman road back then, you would see them along the side, wooden crosses, bodies nailed to them, some left there for days, not hidden away, not cleaned up, left exactly where everyone could see. That was the whole point. It was not just execution, it was a warning, a public announcement that said, this is what happens when you go against us. That was the world when Jesus born into. And according to Christian belief, the world he died in. Here is something that most people don't know. The early Christians, they did not use the cross, not openly, not at first. And honestly, when you think about it, this makes complete sense. In Roman society, the crucifixion was not just a way to kill someone, it was designed to strip them of every last minute of dignity. It was the punishment reserved for the lowest of the low, slaves, criminals, enemies of the state. Imagine walking up to someone in that world and saying, the man I follow as my God. Rome executed him like a criminal. That was the weight of it. So instead, the early Christians communicated quietly, hidden symbols scratched into stones, a simple fish shape, an anchor, marks left on the wall of underground catacombs where they gathered in secret. For those first generation, the cross existed, but only in whispers. And here is something that still gets debated today. What did the original cross even look like? The Greek words written in ancient texts, "stauros," "shilon," translate closer to stake or timber than the shape most of us picture. Roman execution devices were not standardized either. Some were T-shaped, some were simple upright poles, some looked more like what we know today. Terror, it turns out, does not really follow a blueprint, but the archaeology is hard to look away from. Skeleton found in Italy, Britain, and Jerusalem. Heel bones still carrying iron nails through them. Bodies positioned in ways that make it very clear this was not quiet, not peaceful. It was just pain. So what changed? One man changed everything. Emperor Constantine in 312 AD, before one of the most important battles of his career, Constantine reportedly had a vision, a Christian symbol blazing in the sky, and words that came with it. In the sign, conquer, he fought the battle, he won, and almost overnight, everything shifted. Christianity went from being something people practiced underground, quietly, carefully, at real personal risk, to being tied to the most powerful empire on earth. The cross stopped hiding. It appeared on military banners, on coins on the walls of official buildings, on jewelry worn openly in public. The symbol of shame became the symbol of power. Then came Helena, Constantine's mother. She made a journey to Jerusalem with a specific purpose: to find the actual cross, the one believed to have been used in the crucifixion of Jesus. Whether what she found was genuinely that cross, historians still argue about it, but what happened next is what matters. Pieces of the cross spread to churches across the empire. People traveled enormous distance just to stand near them, to touch them, to weep in front of them. An execution device had become a sacred object, something holy. But the deepest change was not about politics or relics. It was about the story people told themselves about what the cross meant. Christians stopped seeing it as a reminder of torture. They began to see it as a symbol of sacrifice, proof that suffering is not the last word, that pain can carry meaning, that even death can be overcome. That shift from execution to redemption is the reason the cross became what it is, not a celebration of cruelty but an answer to it. 2000 years of fears, empire, suffering, and beliefs, all of it compressed into a small piece of metal hanging from a chain. The cross never raised its history, it absorbed it, and maybe that is the whole point. Because for billions of people, the cross is not a reminder of what humanity did at its worst. It is a reminder of what survived it.